Funny how that works.
She never did. I'm okay with it. Good morning, everyone. We'll call the meeting to order. First item is approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 2, minutes, April 2nd, 2024, public hearing and regular board meeting. To approve.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Number 3, this is a time, place, date set for a public hearing for the FY 24-25 Wapello County budget. Need a motion to open the public hearing? I'll move to open.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Kelly, any written comments?
No.
Is there any verbal comments? I guess I'll just say Chad done a nice job with the article in the Courier, kind of tried best to explain what we did with the budget. We was able to lower the max levy just a little bit from what we approved here a couple weeks ago, lowering the increase to just over 55 cents. And again, as you'll see here in our next action after this one, it is greatly impacted by health insurance and the supplemental funds that pay for IPERs and insurance, stuff like that, out of that fund. So that's where the increase comes from this year. Definitely something we would love to lower even more, but we're kind of skating that line right now that I'm afraid first off, we got to worry about paying the bills and making sure that the insurance bills are covered, because we don't want anyone going to the doctor and not having insurance. So any other questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
D, resolution number 2024 FY 24-25 Wapello County budget. Need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve it.
Second. Any other questions? Anything you just thought? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? We have a budget for July 1. Number 4, transfer funds from Fund 2 supplemental to Fund 85 Employee Health Fund. And this is a $200,000 transfer, and this will just cover us, what, Kelly, for a month?
Probably.
3 weeks, something like that. So again, we've seen a lot of these lately, and as I brought up last meeting, just in the last 3 years, for our claims of what we paid is up about $1.7 million. So again, not ideal, but cost of doing business, right?
Motion to approve the transfer.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I will add on that, Darren, I don't think you brought it, but we had made we knew this was coming with it. We'd had different meetings through because of our health insurance, and we knew we were going to get a pretty substantial bump on it. Knowing that, we worked through some of our pharmacy coverage and went a different route as far as pharmaceutical stuff goes. And so far, first quarter was $65,000.
$65,000 saved over last year's quarter. There's 181,000 roughly last year and 126,000 this year.
So if you want to kind of give an idea of like the state looking at this.
The state's also looking to try to do this, so they want us to give an official report of our quarterly, what we saved. Basically, we cut the middleman out on our prescriptions. So in order to do that, we're going to give them an official release so they can start looking at it. The state legislature's been contacting us, wanting to know how this is going to work. With talking with the pharmacy reps yesterday, I went to our Southside Drug. It's been working great. We've had very few denials of medicine, and the ones that were denied, when they sent it back in, they were all approved. They just had to go through some of the drugs. They're borderline diabetic and diet medicines. They want certain labels to put with them before they'll prescribe them. So other than that, we haven't had any issues as far as I can tell. So If we do the 4 quarters at 60,000, we project we'd be between 200,000 and 300,000 in savings. We're gonna be right there, so.
Thanks, Darren. Number 5, lease agreement for Coke Color copier for DHS. Standard lease agreement that we approve every year.
Motion to approve it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 6, award and approval of farm to market Wapello County contract for the annual farm to market Rock Hall project.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Iowa retail permit for cigarette, tobacco, nicotine vapor for Elliott Oil Company for Highway 63 South BP.
Motion to approve it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution number 19, 2024, noxious weed notice for 2024. This is a resolution we have to approve every year. It's published in the paper and more or less just gives notice to property owners that if there's noxious weeds, the county holds the responsibility and the right to destroy those weeds.
Motion to approve it.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 9, discussion and possible action on Ragbri sponsorship. I was approached by Shay Griner with GoPip, and she's one of the leads on Ragbri. They're in their fundraising stage right now of raising funds to put Ragbri on. I think everyone knows what Ragbri is, but for one day, the population of Ottumwa will nearly double, and it's a great economic boom, not just for Ottumwa, Wapello County. I think the small towns coming into Ottumwa and heading out of Ottumwa will see a substantial increase. I mean, even if it's just for a few hours. Anyone in small business knows any of those little bumps in business and sales help a lot. Those sales in turn turn right over back into us in local option sales tax dollars. So their request was a $25,000 sponsorship for that. If we do it, I would suggest we pay that out of economic development of our local option tax. I feel there's probably not much more of a one-day event or an event period that produces an economic impact like Ragbri does in communities like ours. So open for discussion and any other possible, we want to do less than that. That's open also.
Did they give you a total budget as far as
The
what?
total budget, there's different budgets, but hers that she's looking at with it is just over 200,000. I believe, don't hold me to this, but I believe Legacy was sponsored on it. I'm not sure what the city's doing. Some other bigger businesses around the area. I think JBS was putting some in, so. They raised a pretty substantial amount last time, and they actually was able to bank some of the profits, and then that helped start this Ragbri out, where we actually had some money in the bank to book bands or to kind of just get the ball rolling on things. So something that we definitely didn't have last time. So to the people involved with Ragbri 2016, they need to be commended 8 years later for putting us in a position to succeed early on this.
Did they give you a budget for how they're gonna use the money?
You can call and get
Yeah,
that.
sure.
There's budgets for each group. Yeah, there's and I'll say volunteers. When you're talking about bringing 20,000 people into the community, we're going to need volunteers. And I'll bring up what Carrie said at one of our meetings. For us in the county, not to forget, the next day goes down through Eldon, through agencies through Eldon. Possible help at the Gothic House, or I don't know if they're going to do anything around Chief Wapello or anything like that, but there will be volunteer opportunities, not just on Thursday when they're here, but even Friday when they're heading back out. So just direction on where you guys want to go.
Any comments? The stands, what do you feel?
guess I would agree with Brian. I think it's a great economic event for Wapello County, and I guess if you're asking for opinions, I think $25 or 25,000 is a good amount. You know, makes it, you know, I think back in 2016, I think they talked about Ottumwa being the best overnight town on that trip in 2016, so it'd be nice to carry on that legacy again this year.
Yeah, I noticed, same as you, that they said it was a good turn for Ottumwa, and Ottumwa did well on it, and it's gonna benefit greatly. I know they're gonna set something up for Chief Wapello, because we just talked about that. The Gothic house is gonna be a big, I believe the track's going right by there, so. So I think it would be a good boost, so. I would make a motion for 25,000.
Oh, second.
Any further discussion? I will add, there will be a nationally known recording band that's been booked. They can't really release anything now because of contractual obligations with it, but pretty well-known band from a few years ago, so. Any other questions or comments?
Fleetwood Mac.
That was it, yeah. REO Speedwagon's opening up for him. All those in favor of approval of 25,000 brag rights sponsorship, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I will say, I know it's on the city's agenda tonight to discuss the local option tax, and as I said with this is something we pay this out of. If we had to actually dip into our budget and pay this, or, you know, help with items like this, we definitely wouldn't be able to do the 25,000 if we'd be able to do anything at all. So as we get closer to approval of the local option tax, that has to be done every 10 years. And again, the city's putting that on, and will be separate from the city. But it's events like this and things like this that allow us to capitalize where otherwise we probably wouldn't be able to. So another great use, in my opinion, of local option tax. Other business, Recorder's quarterly report of fees collected and dispersed third quarter 23-24. Need a motion to accept and file.
Motion to accept it.
Second.
Anything to add, Lisa?
No, I just ran some figures this morning and we're slightly above where we were at last year.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Treasurer's investment report, March 24. Same thing. You motion to approve it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, other business come before the board, public input. You had something?
I want to bring forward the possibility of closing off Highway 63 and Madison Avenue, north of River Road.
We had talked about that when we had it closed, when they were redoing that. Jeff, are you here still?
I'm over here, yeah.
So would that require a petition of the people, so Madison Avenue going out past River Road?
Yep.
Would that just require a petition of?
It would start off with a petition of all adjoining property owners to request it. And then we will put it out to, and then we will hold a public hearing where we will notify everybody, all the adjoining property owners will notify the paper, so everybody has input. We also have to notify any and all utilities in that area. We will have to give utilities just compensation of some sort. So I'm assuming there's quite a few utilities in there, so most likely they will oppose it, and we will not be able to. We'll be able to close it, but we will not be able to vacate it.
But closing it takes care of a big part of the problem as far as semis coming down, and
Yes.
it's not real wide.
Yeah.
Across there. It's been an issue there for quite some time.
And it is in a plan to widen that out, just like they did down at the bottom, and go back up that hill. But that might, if we close it, that might change our outlook.
So I think I had talked years ago, the last couple of years, I talked to, I think Hammond's up at the top of the hill. I know I talked to them about that as far as a petition, presenting the petition, and then we can start things going in that route.
That's fine. I don't expect it to be completely cut off, as he said, to vacate it, because you'd have to have an emergency option to use that roadway in the event something happened. Catastrophic tanker accident over on 63, to move traffic. I understand that. It's just the semi traffic is just deteriorating the roadway, and not having two trucking companies in the warehouses down at the bottom of the hill where they do not turn and go on River Road, which was the plan during the change of the 4 lane. So they just rip roaring up and down the hill, and Rip Roaring is the one saying when you have a semi go by you when you're standing at your mailbox, probably doing 60. It's an eye opener, but it's the deterioration of the highway that's getting to be the worst part of it. I mean, they're gonna be in need of a whole overlay again. And I'm not sure the date of the last one, but it's just deteriorating from the edges in.
We can't,
Embargoing
We could embargo it.
Okay.
We actually just got it.
indefinitely.
No, we can only do it for 90-day periods of time. We did just add it to our FM system, so now we can use FM monies on that road.
Okay.
As for emergency route access, if it's closed for everything. It's not just emergency, open to just emergency vehicles. It's closed.
yeah, you'd border it up, wouldn't you? Close it off.
We would probably have to rip out pavement just to make sure nothing went through.
Can I get your name?
Ron Harness, HARNSS.
Well, it's something we'll continue. If it doesn't work, ripping it out, like Jeff said, it's on the plan to widen it. I don't know when that would actually come to fruition or anything else with it, but I definitely feel if it's not closed, I agree with you. Widen it and making it safer for the truck traffic is a must.
Yeah, you'd be surprised the number of cars that drop off into the wash off and blow tires out. I've talked to a couple of people.
The chunks that are missing on the shoulder.
The first thing that they say is, "I'm not drunk." You know? So,
We'll work on that and do you want to start with the petition just so we have that?
I can,
Opening with
I can
that.
do that. I've already talked with a number of people on the Hill, and I haven't received anybody that didn't agree with it, but I have to admit, I did not go over the top of the hill who would be closest to the access.
Right.
So I can do that too, so.
Okay. All right, we'll continue to explore that as well.
Thanks for coming in, Ron.
Thank you.
From the front, if it's okay.
Yep.
Ain't talking from the corner. So I'm here today to discuss something that happened at the March 26th meeting and trying to understand the grounds for it. And the March 12th meeting, everybody recalls, was a meeting due to a residents fencing issue and their cattle being on the road. In the March 26th meeting, the notes were asked to be amended to have a statement removed that was noted by me, Chad Black, and the person that did it was Brian Ziegler. And I got a copy of the statement. Was Chad Black stated the total fence line was approximately 3 to 4 miles, and there was a meeting held at the rural fire station on the issue 5 years ago, and nothing has been done. Kelly does a great job. It'd be terrible to try to keep up with everybody's talking here, but I actually said there'd been 2 meetings at the fire station, one in 21 and one in 19. So Brian, I'm going to ask you, since you did it, what's untrue about that statement?
There was 2 things that aren't true.
Okay.
The mileage is off, but that wasn't the big issue.
High or low?
It's actually low.
What's low? What I said's low?
Yeah.
So should we correct it to the higher term?
We don't,
We shouldn't remove it. We should just make it right. Right?
we sure can.
Okay.
But let's.
Because I got the
let's
sheet right here that does it.
Let's finish. The last part of it was not true.
Okay.
You said that nothing was done since the beginning of this, which you said 5 years ago.
You want to extend that too?
No.
Okay.
2 miles, 1.8 miles of fence has been totally rebuilt.
Where at? Yeah, you do. That's how you prove things when you, if this is a court of law, then I don't think the defendant's gonna be the judge. Would you?
I can show you, but
Okay,
you really want to take that much time?
yeah, I do. I want to see her.
You need the map.
Okay. Here's the map. Is that, would everybody like a copy? I brought 3.
This really is
So-
not the time for this.
No, see, you brought that up too, and I kind of got a question about that, you know, if public safety isn't every county employee's priority, what is your priority, Brian? Because I'd say cattle on the roadway every night is a public safety concern. And then you said, let me finish here, later in the meeting, or actually in that same statement, you said that I said untrue statements. It wasn't true the day of the meeting, and it wasn't true the day of the meeting on the 26th. I got pictures right here, the night of the 12th, 9:08 p.m., 9:08 p.m. And right there are some of your cattle on the roadway, Point Isabel Road, the night of the meeting.
I
Are
didn't
the
say
cap-
that.
That's what you said.
Are the,
We need to watch the video as a group then. That's exactly what you said.
are the cattle all removed?
Yes.
Are you- So that's what you said the other day too. Was that a false statement? Or was that a true statement? Since mine was untrue, were you making a true statement or a false statement?
Cattle are gone.
Completely. There's not one white Charolais bull running around. What's the proof he's gone? Did you shoot him?
No.
Did you haul him off?
All them up.
Where's the sales receipt?
I sold them privately.
Oh, you did. Ironically. But anyway, back to the main thing. I look at this as a defamation of character. You're essentially saying I lied. So my thing is, I tried to be beneficial. And if you look on that map, it says 4.6 miles, but I actually didn't include the 30 to 40 acres around your house. So maybe when we put it in the record, that it's 5 miles, not 4.6. I'm sorry to take away from the seriousness. I would try to be on the lower end to make sure that I didn't overstate myself. Maybe there's a rule against understating yourself.
Point was, at the end of that statement, nothing had been done.
Nothing has been done.
Fence had been fixed and several. cattle had
So I'm
been
going to ask a
removed
question.
at that
If,
point.
let me ask you this question, Brian. If he wasn't on this board of supervisors, do you think that statement would be removed from the notes?
Probably not. Now, I will say in the minutes, the only thing that needs put in the minutes are actual votes done on it. They could say, like with this one, all she has to put was Chad Black spoke on.
That's all she did. I thought it was a great deal. Do you think it was do you think it was dishonest?
No, no, it's exactly what was said.
You think that's a dishonest statement?
I think it was probably a statement as a estimate of exactly what you thought. So no,
Because I'm looking at it as a defamation of character, and I just need to know the scope of where I need to focus my defamation of character.
I mean,
Because
ultimately, Chad, with this, we done, you know, if the cows are all gone, as Brian said, and with this issue being a township trustee, the reason that we had it even on the agenda last time with Mr. Berger was because we went with them to try to get this taken care of because of the conflict in that.
so here's another rumor floating around. I'll just throw it out there. Supposedly, we've already said that we're going to rent it to somebody else.
Okay.
Well, in my opinion, just an opinion right now, if that's going to happen, if he had just because he got rid of his cows, if there's nothing done with the fence, rent it somebody doesn't fix the problem.
Right, if there's another, and this was talked about and Brian could tell you, if there's any other livestock on the land, the fence has to be fixed first.
Well, I would ask, and I guess I need an explanation why it can't be put back in the notes, because I don't think it's false. And I don't think anywhere in the court of law, the person who's a defendant also gets to be the judge. Because until that point, I'm looking at this as a defamation of character, called me a liar in public, and we'll just see where it goes from there. And I just need to know the scope of who all I include in the defamation of character. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So can we take a vote about whether or not we put back in the notes or not?
We can't do it at this meeting because it's not on the agenda, but it can be in these minutes
Okay,
right here.
we'll do it again in 2 weeks.
So we just approved in these minutes.
Do you need more proof? Because I got more proof. Is a 5-year thing what you're struggling with? Do you think it's not been that long?
I don't think we need any more proof of everything. I hope the cattle situation is taken care of. I hope if it's rented, the fence is fixed before anything.
So how long are we gonna go through it next time?
I believe the fencing thing's still proceeding.
Right.
But I'm saying
Because I don't
though,
think that can go away
What-
once it started.
when it happens, if you guys are still on the board, I want to know how long it's gonna last.
Have you met with the fence viewers?
I haven't met with them yet, no, but I believe it's still going on. They have to do a couple final stages, I think.
So by the way, before we get too far, where's the 1.8 miles of fence?
It's,
You wanna do it on my copy? That way you can keep yours. Guess I don't have another one up here with me, but I'll remember. I got a pretty good memory.
it's this area here. There.
Well, see, that whole distance right there, Brian's 1.45, so 1.8 don't go into 1.4 where I went to school.
It's this here to about there. And then there's some over here.
So I'll say we'll continue the fence stuff. Like I said, it started, we lost Ruben. Stevie will take.
I'm
that
just
over
saying,
now.
we need to be real careful who we publicly
Yep.
defame. Because it started
Sure.
and I got way more proof. You know, you want to talk about time frames. There's one right here that knocks her down to 5 years pretty good. And it is even my words, it's in your words, your family's words. A business that you guys have. So,
The fence viewing will proceed. Once it's started, it can't be stopped.
No. So legally, again, Stevie, the trustees that were involved with this, the neighbors, all that's still proceeding regardless of what it is.
and I'd also like to know, so is that an untrue statement you made on the 26th, saying they were gone? The day of the meeting on the 12th?
They were gone.
The cattle ground.
Well, you said there's still one bull running around, but you didn't know if it was yours or the neighbor's. And I've seen him since.
It's gone.
When was it gone, Brian?
This was
Let's have a
couple
hard date.
years ago.
I'd have to get the date on that.
It's the same
Will you
one
get
as
that
mine.
with them, please?
And who'd you sell it to? Let's throw a name out there. You can fact check me. I want to fact check you.
I don't know that I need to disclose that.
You technically don't.
Okay. Well, just remember that defamation of character, that is what that was.
Any other business come before the board?
Right, I'm a neighbor to Chad and, come up here so everybody knows. Talking. Don't want to be known, but, but anyway, I've been there just for 2.5 years, right on 50th Street. And their family takes care of the cattle just unbelievably well. And it's a complete family operation. I've raised cattle and hogs. But, when something gets out, it's a big concern. And there's been cattle in my yard. And I don't know Brian. This is the first time we've ever met. So, my whole family, 3 different houses down Point Isabel, have had the same issue with the cattle. And it sounds like you guys have it all taken care of. If there's a follow-up on the fence, because the fence is terrible. Especially right down to the Point Isabel road. And that would take care of a good portion of any complaints, because that's where Chad, I live, my mother-in-law, they've been clear up into my brother. So, and I don't know whose cattle they are. I call Brian, or I mean, Chad, because he's the one I'm best friends with. He's my neighbor. And he.
Well, I think ultimately, Dave, I think the cattle problem Hopefully the cattle are all gone, as Brian says, and then we'll continue with the fence stuff as it goes, and hopefully, as Chad said, in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, we don't have this issue.
Yeah, as long as there's somebody that comes out and checks to make sure the fence is being taken care of.
And
And that'd be good.
most primarily, in a normal situation, the township trustees handle all fence disputes.
I didn't know the process, but I know this has been an ongoing thing and it's just been terrible because the neighbors, they all care about each other and they want to take care of it. And if
Sure.
there's some cattle or anything gets out. But a big concern of mine would be is if I lost a family member because they ran into a cow,
Yep.
I would do everything in my power legally to make it tough on that person because my family is very important and it can happen. I've lost 2 children. And I sure as heck wouldn't want to lose another one. But anyway, I just want to vouch for this family right here. They are very good people. They take care of their livestock, their land.
And I'd like to have another 2 minutes. Is, in this
That's all I
thing,
need. Oh,
thank you, Dave. And in this, on this article here in the paper, you also made the statement that I have an illegal fence. Would you like me to read that to you?
It's still true today.
I have an illegal fence. So you're gonna sit here in front of a group of people and say that I have a legal fence when my cattle are not out. And your cattle, hold on, I'll let you talk after my 2 minutes is up. Cattle have got into my fence, gotten shocked, and wouldn't go back out numerous times. That you had to come run them out. One time it was me and you about 10 o'clock at night. You remember that? And I told you, you taught me something that night. I've never seen cattle sorted by hot wire. Yours ran through it, mine stayed in. So you can honestly stand here and say that my fence is not adequate. Yours is. You think that the sheriff should do something about my illegal fence when my cattle aren't out, and when yours have got on my property, they've held them in. You think that's
Code says electric fence along a road is not a legal fence. The issue there is that it doesn't.
you know how much
keep
electric
my cattle
fence
out.
around? So how about you
Iowa
keep?
code-
But Iowa code is you keep your fences, your cattle in, Brian.
So on
You can't
on
make-
this issue,
Yes.
on this issue, I'd like the 3 of you, along with Don, because Don was brought up in it as well, to discuss that later.
So where are we just gonna do this new fencing strategy in Green Township or all of Wapello County? Or should we push it statewide, Brian? Heck, why mess with the small peanuts? Let's go statewide. You know what I mean? And would you like to see the pictures when they were in there? The ones I got? Do you need that proof?
You can't prove that.
Acknowledge they were there.
Yeah.
So,
So I think again, at the point, this is about as far as this board can take it until the fence viewing stuff is done. Any other business come before the board? Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor?
Thanks.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.